Hello guys, welcome back. So I'm just gonna share with you how I collect free wood from my yard. I do have a lot of trees, the mature trees. Most of them are just shade trees. The other large tree is the mulberry tree there in the corner, and then the rest are just shade trees. So usually around winter I do trim the trees. I don't do it every year. Like this year 2025 I didn't trim the trees, so all of these trees were trimmed I think in 2024. And when I trim, I do ask the tree fella to create mulch for me, to grind the some of the branches and create mulch. And I also ask them to cut the wood down into small pieces, although here they didn't do a good job, but usually they'll cut it for me into smaller pieces, and then I then just use cement blocks and these wood planks to create like a wood storage area under the trees here, for them to start drying. Now it's summer, it's been raining. I'm now preparing for next winter. So I'll remove these logs or wood from this side, and then I'll show you where I store them. I store them under the carport close to the house, so that when I need them for the fireplace, yes, they are dry. So it's December, and usually I start using them around maybe June, July, August. So I'll have a few months for them to complete drying under the carport. I will also show you the fireplace later inside the house. So for keeping the house warm, we mostly use the fireplace. I actually don't have a heater at all. Use the fireplace and hot water bottle. Alrighty, let's stack the firewood together. This area here has a bump, so I can only go over it in reverse, otherwise I get stuck. And one log fell on the ground there. So I packed them here because it's right under the carpet, so no rain, and my kitchen door is over there. So when I need wood, I just come and get it in winter whenever I need wood. So they'll continue drying underneath the shade here. Nice breeze. So I try to put the long ones here so that they keep the balance. And then in the short ones, I just, okay, this one is long. So the short ones, I just throw them at the back. So these long ones, yeah, they keep the balance here. And then at the end here, I put these thick ones so that they also hold the stack in place. Whew. It's a serious workout. I don't need the gym with all of this work. Okay, so the big ones I like because they last longer in the fireplace, so I really like the big logs. And sometimes when it's really cold, before I go to sleep, I just put maybe 3 or 4 big logs, depending on how big they are. And then I go to sleep. When I wake up in the morning, there's still like coals. The house is not icy cold, so it helps to keep the house warm. Alright, so I've done several loads of the firewood and I'm done for the day. And yeah, I think this is my stack for winter. I should be fine. So this side here, it's low because this is the leftover wood from the previous winter. So I know when I start, I'm going to start here in this area because this side is super dry. And then this is the rest. And the big logs are on the side here so that they just, I don't know, they form a barrier so that things don't fall over. And at the bottom, I just use old wood that I found. And then there's old tiles there. And just bricks and old roof tiles to form a base so that they are not on the ground. Because if they're on the ground, when it rains, they're going to get wet. Yep, so I'm ready for winter. And then I'll show you my firewood stove inside the house, the one that I use to burn fire in winter. Yep, so this is the firewood stove that we use, and that's the living room area. And then behind me is the dining room, the kitchen, and the bedrooms. So the fire keeps the whole house warm because of this open area. So it will be warm in the living room, and then the heat comes through to the rest of the house. And then we just open the bedroom windows, not windows, bedroom doors, so that we heat up the whole house in winter. It's not a big stove, but it heats up nicely. Obviously, when the stove is on, I do move the sofas more to the side so that they don't get burned. And I do cook on this, so I can fit two pots, one this side and one that side. But when I cook, it needs to be on a day where I'm at home, because it's more like a slow cooker. So if let's say I need to cook sampan beans, I will put on the fire in the morning, and then yeah, for the rest of the day or half the day, the pot will be on the stove just boiling slowly. I think that's what I like. It doesn't bubble up or anything. It just boils slowly while we keep the house warm. And then this here, so I keep the egg cartons because I use them to start the fire. They're very nice. They bend very nicely. And then I also use this bucket to go fetch the wood outside. Yeah, and sometimes I do take out everything here, and just like in the evening when I know I won't be going outside, I just pile a lot of wood inside this wooden crate, and then that's enough firewood for us for the evening. Yeah, so this is where we enjoy the hard work of all the wood. I didn't clean it, still has some ashes. I still need to clean that, but yeah, this is where we put on the fire, and then the ashes, they come from here. And then I usually use the ashes in the garden, so I don't throw them away, because I know I just used this these egg cartons and the firewood. Nothing else is in there, so they are very safe for the garden. So this is us ready for winter. Thank you for spending this time with me. See you on the next one. If you watched until this far, please consider to like, subscribe, comment. Thank you.